Good morning everyone. Sorry I haven't put up any videos for a few days due to the fact that the cold spell has caused quite a bit of trouble, particularly in the greenhouses where two of the heaters packed up. Perhaps I should have checked them beforehand. I just assumed they were working okay. But when it came to the crunch, no, they stopped. One was quite a simple job. It was just freeing the fan and getting that back so it was going. So no problem with that one. The other one had completely packed up. Perhaps my fault. I hadn't checked it over, just assumed that all the while the fan was running during the lovely summer months that nothing was going to go wrong. But anyhow, it collected a lot of dirt, dust, and that packed up, and it's beyond repair. But it's only a cheapo. It was the same type of model as Big Clive showed on his video, but the one that he was doing was in better condition than my one. So I'm afraid it was put into for spares, or I might have a look at it later. Anyhow, getting back to other things, as you know, I already know because I go on YouTube, doing YouTube now, I was finding that the speed of uploading, is it called uploading, was taking a very long time. So I decided to change my supplier. I was on BT, which seemed to have no intention of going over to the fibre optics, still using the the good old copper, which was being used for years and years. It just was failing. It often failed itself. The modem would switch itself off and say there was a fault. So it was time to have a change. So I decided, well, the only alternative in the street is these people here, Virgin. They do a very good service, their fibre optics, very, very good. And I thought, right, let's give them a try. And as I say, this video I'm doing now will hopefully be the first one to be uploaded on their system. They came in and done the job Thursday. Done a very good job actually. I prepared the cable run, which was just really taking out the old cable to the BT stuff, and they had a free hand to install the hub or the modem, whatever you like to call it. And once that was set up, plugged the phone line ins, and thinking to myself, well, I'm not going to be able to use my rotary dial phones, so the antique phones or the old vintage phones, call them what you like, will not work without a converter which you can buy off of eBay. So I thought, well, okay, I'll just use the touch tone type phones, which uses the buttons. Because how do you get loop disconnect pulsing through fibre cables? It's not possible. That's what I thought. Anyhow, why I did it, I don't know. I thought, well, let's just see what happens if I use the dial phone. Will that work? And lo and behold, it worked. So if anyone out there knows how this is possible, I certainly don't know. They even use the same code 17070 to give you a ring back. That was working as well, which also worked on BT lines. So I'm well pleased, you could say, like a dog with two tails. I can use my vintage phones and still got good service. The number's being changed over at the moment, so it'll be on my same number, but on these people here, Virgin, which seem to do a good job. I'm not very impressed with their call centre because I couldn't understand what they were saying. It appears that was in India. So, you know, my advice to them, get a call centre over here. The people will be able to understand what they're saying. I had a hell of a job to understand. But anyhow, that was just a slight gripe. Anyhow, I'll show you this plant here. I discovered that the greenhouse had gone well below freezing. I thought, oh my God, I've lost a load of plants. Well, this one, Placatulus, that was virtually frozen. But by bringing it indoors and restoring the heat slowly, I brought it back to life. Well, hopefully I have. Also, we can show you that one. I thought I'd lost my Euphorbia Susannae, and that's as good as gold at the moment. So let's assure people that the fact that the temperature can go down and some plants freeze. I've had some of the mesems freeze. When I say they freeze, they were hard as a rock. And I took them out, gently brought the temperature up, and I think they're okay. So it was a scare, but I think something was learnt. Anyhow, getting back to replacement heaters, I noticed on eBay someone had a heater which they called it Bio Green Colorado greenhouse heater. There it is. It was up for approximately £30, which I thought was a good price, very good price. I had no idea of the actual condition of the device. I preferably wanted something which was a maximum of 1,000 watts. But I'll take a chance. This one is only 2,000. It could be modified. I'm not going to modify it, but it's got two heaters inside, which are obviously wired parallelly. So you could disconnect one, so you've got heater of one. The reason being, I've only got one cable down to the greenhouses, and I didn't want to overload stuff. So I decided to put this nice new, I say new, I think this heater's probably several years old, but looking at it, I reckon it's never been used. It looks brand spanking new, as they would say. Well made, definitely well made. There's the end where the heat comes out. You've got your two conical type heaters. The name Bio Green. And if we look at the bottom, hopefully it's the right way round, you've got the label there which tells you all about it. There's no indication on there that it can be switched from one heater or to two, but not to worry. It's working perfectly, and I'm going to use it indoors. It's really too good to put in the greenhouse. Completely made of stainless, not a mark on it. In my opinion, it's never ever been used. It's obviously been stored somewhere. You've got your thermostat there, which is a rod thermostat, which is slightly different to most heaters that are used in the greenhouse. You've got your switching, a little bit of hole in that plastic, but that's nothing. You can either have it so the fan is on all the time, or comes on when the heat comes on. You've got your thermostatic control there. The lead in is on that. It's on there like a gland nut. Very thick cable. It's German made, and I would suggest that the parts are German as well. There's no indications that the bits have come from China, but it's certainly good quality. And as I say, it probably goes back 20 years, is it, or more? I can't trace that name. So if anyone else has got any information about this heater, it's they call it a BioGreen Colorado. I know the modern greenhouse heaters by this same company sell for nearly 100 or 100 plus pounds. So I think I got a jolly good deal there. So there we are. There's it. It's the metalwork stainless steel, so it'll never ever rust. And it looks like it could be, the cover could be taken off relatively easy if it needs any work done on it. And I understand spares were available. Whether they still are, I don't know. This depends on the age. Anyway, that's all I've got to say on this one. This is now going to be a standby for indoors. But I'm going to replace the burnt out heater, or the heater that don't work, with this one that I've had for donkey's years. Don't ask me where I got it from. Obviously a boot sale. It's got the German Schuko type plug on our adapter, so it can be plugged in to 13 amps. This is just a typical heater. You've got your high and low thermostat, and on the other side you've got off, fan only, heater 1, heater 2. I keep it on heater 1 because that's 1,000 watts, which, as I said before, I didn't want to overload the stuff. So that was that. So quite an eventful last few days. Rather scary in some cases, going down to the greenhouse, thinking you're going to find a load of dead plants or frozen plants. I notice now, just looking outside through the door, excuse the mess, there's still snow about. As I've always said, the best place for snow is on a Christmas card. Horrible stuff. Hopefully the weather will be warming up a bit. At the moment it's still on freezing. 32 degrees in the old days, which was Fahrenheit, or 0, which is Celsius, or centigrade. Anyhow, I've been talking far too long, so I'm going to upload this and see what happens. Once again, thanks for listening. Hope I haven't driven you all to sleep. But as I say, the words of perhaps advice here, if you've got a greenhouse, make sure your heaters are up to scratch. They're easily forgotten, and when you really need them, with a bit of warmth, they don't work. So that's all I've got to say today. I'm about, as I said, to test this on my new virgin fibre, and hopefully it'll be uploading a bit faster. Thanks again. Any questions, please ask, and many thanks again. Thank you.